Hi, my name's Josh and I'm a guitar tutor for South Lanarkshire Leisure and Culture, and today we're going to be learning Speak Softly Love, the main theme from The Godfather. So to start off, I'll play you through the first section that we're going to learn. It goes like this. So to start off, I'll play you through the first section we're going to learn. It goes like this. Okay, so to begin, the first part of this song, the intro part, is in 3/4, and then after about 12 bars, when it gets into the main riff, or the main melody actually, it changes to 4/4. So we'll start by learning the part in 3/4, and then we'll repeat that, and then we'll go into the 4/4 part. So to begin, most of this is finger picking as well. So to do this song, we're going to use our thumb for the three lower strings, the bass notes, and we're going to use our first, second, and third finger in our right hand to do each of the high strings. So if you use your first finger for the G string, your middle finger for the B string, and your ring finger, your third finger, for the E string. Okay, so to start off, the first shape, we're going to take our first finger and we're going to put it in the 5th fret of the high E, and our middle finger is going to go in the 6th fret of the B string. We're going to play those two notes together along with an open D. Okay, and then we're going to slide both those fingers back a fret to the 4th and the 5th fret, and we're going to play both of them, just the two high notes, and then we're going to move back up to the original 5th and 6th fret. Okay, so we get those two notes with the open D at first, move back a fret, and then move up the frets again. And then we're going to move our first finger up to the 6th fret of the E string, and this time we're going to add our third finger onto the 8th fret of the B string, and we're going to play those two, and then just back to the 5th and the 6th fret of the E and the B string. And then we're going to play those two again, but this time with the open D. And then we're going to add our third finger onto the 7th fret of the G string, and we're going to play that along with the 6th fret of the B. Okay, so we're mainly just moving this first finger and second finger back and forth, and adding in the third finger for when we move up to the 8th fret. So those 3 bars sound like this. Okay, so that's the intro. The next part of the intro is actually the exact same thing for the first 4 notes, starting with your open D, your first finger on the 5th fret of the E, and your second finger on the 6th fret of the B, and then you're going to move back to the 4th and the 5th, back up to the 5th and the 6th, and then like before, we're going to move up to the 6th and the 8th fret with your third finger doing the 8th fret. Now this time, this is where it changes. What we're going to do is we're going to play the 5th fret of the high E string, but when we play that, I want you to actually bar the bottom 3 strings, the E, B, and G string, bar all of them with your first finger. Now the reason we're doing that there is because the next notes we play is the bar of that chord, so it's good just to get into that position for the first note. So after the 6 and the 8, we're going to bar the 5th frets, play that high E, and then we're going to play that high E again, but this time with an open A, and then we're going to pluck the 5th frets on the G and the B string. Okay, so that second repeat sounds like this. Okay, so that last note is all barring this high A note, this high A minor, which is the 5th fret, just barring the 5th fret. So 5th fret of the E individually, then the 5th fret of the E with the open A, and then the 5th fret and the G and the B together. Okay, so that first line sounds like this. And then same again, but this time to the bar. And now you're going to hold your finger there, barring that 5th fret, and then it's the same again, but this time you're going to you're going to play the open A, the G, and the E string together. So the 5th fret and the E and the G with the open A. And then you're going to play this wee melody, 4th fret and the E, 5th fret and the E, and then use your pinky to stretch up to the 8th fret and the E, back to the 5th fret and the E. So you get. And then the next chord is a diminished chord, a G sharp diminished. We're going to play, if you've not done a diminished chord, it's quite a strange shape, it sounds quite strange, but it's quite a hard shape to get into, but it's quite easy to remember how to do it. So to start off, we're going to take our first finger, and we're going to put that in the 3rd fret of the D string, and then we're going to miss a string, and with our 2nd finger, we're going to put that in the 2nd fret, the 3rd fret of the B string. So first finger in the 3rd fret of the D, miss a string, 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the B, and then our 3rd finger is going to go in the string we missed out, the G string, but this time in the 4th fret, and then our pinky is going to go on the 4th fret of the high E string. So we're using all 4 of our fingers here, and we're going to pluck all 4 strings, the D, G, and B, the D, G, B, and E string, okay, for that diminished shape. And now, after that, it's another diminished shape, but we're moving up to the 6th fret to start it in the 6th fret. So this one starts in the 3rd fret, and we're going to slide that shape up to the 6th and 7th fret. Okay, so you get, slide it up, same shape, and then we're going to go after that into that A minor A chord where you bar the 5th fret again, and you're going to play the 3 high strings with the open A. So diminished, which is 1st finger on the 3rd fret of the D, miss a string, 2nd finger on the 3rd fret of the G, 3rd finger on the 4th fret of the G string, the one you missed out, and then your pinky on the 4th fret of the E string. So you're going to play that, slide that shape up to the 6th and 7th frets, and then bar the 5th fret chord, the A minor. Okay, so that from the wee melody sounds like this. Well, sounds like this. Okay, so all together what we've got this far is for the last bit, just to finish off the intro, we're going to put our 3rd finger on the 7th fret of the G string, and our middle finger on the 5th fret of the on the 6th fret of the B string. So 7th fret in the G, 6th fret in the B. We're going to play those 2 strings together along with an open D, and then we're going to slide our 2 fingers down a fret to the 6th and the 5th fret, and then move it back up to the 7th and 6th, Then we're going to add our first finger, keep those fingers where they are, add our first finger onto the high E string, and we're going to play the B and the E together. So the 5th fret in the E and the 6th fret in the B. And then after that, just move your first finger back and play the 4th fret. Okay? So that sounds like this. So it's 7th and 6th fret in the G and the B with the open D. Move those fingers back a fret, play the B and G together, move them back up, B and G together, add your first finger onto the 5th fret of the E, play that with the 6th fret of the B, and then just move your first finger back and you're going to play the 4th fret. Then after that, the last 2 bars of the intro are 2 chord shapes picked, okay? Now the first one is a B minor 7 flat 5. It's a mouthful, it's a very rare chord, but the way I like to think of it is it's just a diminished chord that you just learned, but you're doing that same shape starting up a string, okay? So in this case, it's starting the 2nd fret, so we're going to start on the 2nd fret of the A string. We're then going to miss a string, put our 2nd finger in the 2nd fret of the G string. Then we're going to take our 3rd finger and we're going to place that in the string we missed, the D string, this time in the 3rd fret. Then with our pinky, we're going to place our pinky on the 3rd fret of the B string. So it's the same shape as the diminished, just starting up a string. So that's the shape we're after. We're going to hold that and then we're going to pick out the individual notes. So it sounds like this. Okay, so to start, once you've got the shape, it's the A string and the high E string together, and then it's the D string, then the G string, D string again, B string this time, and then the G. Okay, so that's the A and the E together, D string, D string, then G string, D string, B string, and then finishing the G string. So you get. And then the next one's just a really familiar open E chord, and we're going to pick that out. So if you play your E chord, it's the high E and the low E together, and then it's the D string, G string, and then the D string again, and then the last part of this bar is just. But that's actually the beginning of the next section, so we'll just focus on the first 4 notes, the E, 2 E strings together, D string, G string, and then E string. Now, you might have noticed it's when you're playing that B minor 7 flat 5 that the time signature changes to 4/4 on that chord. Okay? From that point on to the rest of the song, it's all going to be in 4/4. Okay? So, the intro altogether sounds like this. Okay, right, so practice that, just getting used to those shapes, the finger picking style with your thumb, doing the lower strings, the E, A and D string, and your first, second, third finger doing the high strings, and just get used to those shapes, practice that through as many times as you can until you're comfortable with it, and then we'll move on to the melody. Yeah, so that part, the intro finishes in the E chord, and now the next 3 notes is the beginning of the next section, the main sort of recognisable melody. So to start that off, it's the last 3 notes of the bar which had the E chord. So we start with an open E, and then it's the. Actually, before we do that, I'll play you through just so you know how it sounds. So it goes like this. Okay, before we do that, I'll play you the section so you know how it sounds. It goes like this. Okay, so starting off, we've got an open E, 5th fret in the E, and then pinky on the 8th fret of the E. Okay, so just. Then the next part is the A minor chord we've done before, where we're barring the 3 high strings with your first finger. But it's a variation of that where we're still barring the 5th fret with our first finger, but we're going to add our 3rd finger into the 7th fret of the E string. So that's the only variation, just adding that 3rd finger into the 7th fret, and we're going to play the 3 high strings along with an open A, so all of them together. And for this whole bar pretty much, we're going to keep our first finger barring the 5th fret. So keep it barring the 5th fret, take our 3rd finger off, pick the high E individually, and then add our pinky onto the 8th fret of the E, pick that, take your pinky off, pick the high E again, and then we're going to play the next chord, which is middle finger on the 6th fret of the B string, 3rd finger on the 7th fret of the G string, and your pinky on the 7th fret of the high E, and you're going to play those 3 strings along with an open D. And then you're going to add keeping that chord there, you're going to add your first finger onto the 5th fret of the E string and just take your pinky off, and then play the E string alone. And then you're going to pick your hand should now have your 3rd finger on the 7th fret of the G, middle finger on the 6th fret of the B, and your first finger on the 5th fret of the E. So you're now just going to play the B and the G string together, and then you're going to slide that shape up 2 frets to the 8th and 9th and just play them together. So that bar sounds like this. Okay. Then after that, we're going to go down to just a normal A minor shape, the open A minor. And we're going to play the A and the E strings together. And then you're going to play the D, then the G, then the D again, and then the B. Okay, so you get. And then it just does the exact same thing as the very beginning of this section. Open E, 5th fret in the E, 8th fret in the E, and then it's back to this A minor shape, the barred 5th fret variation with the 7th fret, and it goes same as before. So playing the 3 high strings with the open A, keeping that barred, take off your 3rd finger, pick the 5th fret, then you're going to add your pinky onto the 8th fret, take it off, play the 5th fret again, and then to this chord where it's your middle finger on the 6th fret of the B, 3rd finger in the 7th fret of the G, and your pinky in the 7th fret of the G, and you're going to play those 3 notes along with the D string. Add on your 1st finger onto the 5th fret of the E again, play that, and this is where it's slightly different. This time we're going to bar the 5th fret again, this A minor shape. Just, you don't need to add this finger, just barring the 5th, and you're going to play the A string, the G string, and the B string together. And then you're going to slide this back, slide your 1st finger onto the 4th fret of the B, and add your middle finger onto the 5th fret of the G, and just play those 2 notes together. Okay? So from that A minor it goes. Okay? Then we go back into this B minor 7 flat 5 shape, the one we did in the intro. So it's the same shape as the diminished, just starting up a string. So it's the second fret on the second fret of the B string. Oh, sorry, second fret of the A string. Then miss a string. Second finger goes on the second fret of the G string. Third finger goes on the string you missed, the third fret of the D, and then your pinky on the third fret of the B. And instead of picking it out like we did before, we're actually just going to play those 4 notes, play the chord all together. Okay, so that sort of ends that phrase. So you get from the A minor into that B minor 7 variation chord. After that, we're going to play open A, and then you're going to do 3rd fret in the B, 1st fret in the E, and then 4th fret in the E with your pinky. So you get. And then we're going to play the diminished chord again, the one that was in the 6th and 7th frets. Picking that, and then you're going to hold that diminished chord there. You're going to play the open E string. You're going to pick the 3rd fret. You're going to pick the 3rd string, the G string, still holding that diminished chord, and then the 2nd string, the B string, still holding that diminished chord, and then this time you're going to take your finger off and just play the 4th fret of the high E string. So from this B minor 7th chord, you're then going to take that off, play D, 3rd fret in the B, 1st fret in the E, 4th fret in the E, up to the diminished. You're going to hold that chord, play open E, the G string, and then the B string, and then you're going to take your hand off the chord, play the 4th fret of the E, and then we're going to, if you bar the 4th fret, that sets you up for the next part. So 4th fret in the E, slide that up to the 5th fret, and then we're just going to play that A minor shape, the 3 high strings and the open A together. Okay, so from that B minor 7, it goes. Now we're going to go into this sort of unusual shape where we're going to put our 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, 1st finger on the 1st fret of the B, and then I like to use my pinky just because I find it a bit more comfortable. I'm going to add my pinky into the 3rd fret of the high E. So you've got your open A, then 2nd fret on the G, 1st fret in the B, 3rd fret in the E. So you're just picking them down. And then what to do is you're going to put your 1st finger on the 1st fret of the G string and your 2nd finger on the 1st fret of the E string, and you're going to play the open E and the 3 high strings together. So you get, keeping that shape there, you're just going to take off your 2nd finger, play the high E, add your pinky onto the 3rd fret of the E, play that, then put your 1st finger back on, play that, and then that chord shape again, the open E, 1st fret in the G, open B, and 1st fret in the E. And then you're going to take your 2nd finger off, play the open E twice, and then the 1st fret in the G. Okay, so that's. And then you're going to play open A, 1st fret in the B, open B, 2nd fret in the G, and then open A to end off the section. So, nice and easy, the very last part of that section is just open A, 1st fret in the B, open B, 2nd fret in the G, and then open A. Okay? Then the last 3 notes of this bar, the 5, 5, 4, the A and the A flat, they actually start the next section, so don't worry about them just now. So just playing to that open A note. So I'll go from the beginning of that section again. I'll just play it through once so you can hear it, and then if you just work your way through all of it, just playing, maybe practicing a bar at a time, then 2 bars at a time, and once you can do it all, putting it all together. But I'll play you through again one more time so you know how it sounds. It goes like this. Just ending on that open A note. Okay, then we're ready to move on to the next section, which is pretty much the same thing, just with a few slight variations to that part there. Okay, so the next section is pretty much the same thing with one distinct variation which happens at the very beginning of this section. So I'll just play that distinct variation first, and we'll cover that a bar at a time. Okay, so it goes like this. Okay, so after that point, it just goes back to what we'd learned before. So we'll focus on the variation, and then we'll just do a quick recap of the next part. So to start off, it starts just nice and simply, 5th fret on the E string, and we're just going to play that twice. And then it's the 4th fret in the E string. So, and then we're going to go into a G. Barred G chord. So it's the bar chord version of a G starting in the 3rd fret. And instead of just strumming that, we're going to pick it out. So get the shape. So bar in the 3rd fret, 3rd finger in the 5th fret of the A string, pinky in the 5th fret of the D string, and then your middle finger on the 4th fret of the G string. Okay? And then we're going to start off by picking the 2 E strings together. And then you're going to play the D string, and then the B and the G together, D string again, and then the low G. Okay, so you get. So that's for the G. Then you're going to take your hand off that shape, and you're going to play this wee run. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your 3rd finger in the 7th fret of the G string and your pinky in the 7th fret of the E string, and you're going to play both those notes together, and then you're going to slide the shape down to the 5th fret, so the 5th fret in the G and the 5th fret in the E, play both of them together, and then you're going to move all the way down to the 2nd and the 1st fret of the G and the E, so 2nd finger in the 2nd fret of the G string and your 1st finger in the 1st fret of the E string, and you're going to play them both together. So you get your G, picking that out, and then this wee run, 7th fret, 5th fret, 2nd and 1st fret together, and then you go into open C chord, just your standard open C chord, and we're going to pick that out, starting with the A and the E string together, then the D string, and then the G and the B together, then the D string, and then the A string and the E string, and then just the E string itself. Then we're going to take our pinky and add that to the 3rd fret in the E, and then just the open E. So take it off. So add the pinky on, and then take it off. So you get C. Okay, so those 2 bars together, you've got your G, the run, C, with the pinky, and then we're going to go into a B major 7 shape. So starting, bar the 1st fret from the A string down, all the strings, and then you're going to put your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the D string, then you're going to put your middle finger in the 2nd fret of the G string, and finally your pinky on the 3rd fret of the B string. So you get this major 7 chord, And again, we're not going to strum it, we're going to pick out the individual notes, starting with the A and the B strings together, and then the D string, then the G string, D string, the A and the B together again, and then you're going to do the D, G and B together, and then the high E, and then you're going to take your pinky and slide that to the 4th fret of the B string. Okay, so you get, sorry. Okay, so just the whole thing is the B major 7 chord picked out, but for the very last note, you just slide your pinky over to the 4th fret of the B string. Okay, so that sounds like, slide the pinky, and then you just go into an open E chord, and it's the same picking pattern as we did before, and this is where it goes into essentially the section before. So it's open, just an open E with the 2 E strings together, D string, G string, D string again, and then back into the, okay? So that new section, one more time, starts with the 5, the 5th fret in the E, followed by the 4th fret of the E, into the G, the wee run, the C, the B major 7, finishing off in the E. So one more time it sounds like this. Okay, now as I said before, the next sort of 2 lines of the song is the exact same as the last section we learned, so we won't cover that individually because we've already went over it, and if you need to you can just go back and watch that part of the video, but I'll just quickly play it through just so you know that that's what it is. So it's the bit that goes, I lied. There's one variation. Actually, I'll cover that real quick. It's just on the 2nd bar of this part. You're going to start off as normal. Same thing, the A minor with the 7th fret, picking through to the chord we did before. But this time we're going to go to the 5th fret. And then you're going to actually slide your hand down to the 3rd fret in the B and the 1st fret in the E, and then play them together, and then an open E before going into the A minor. Okay, that's actually the only variation. It's a very tiny wee thing. So just if you check out the 2nd bar of that part is the only thing that changes. So altogether it goes like this. Okay, so all of that's the same as before. This is where it just changes for the very last section of the song. So going from this shape here, the E, where you have your 1st finger on the 1st fret of the G and your 2nd finger on the 1st fret of the high E. After we pick that last note, the 1st fret of the G string, we're then just going to play at A, open A, 1st fret in the B, open B, 2nd fret in the G, and then to finish it off, it sounds like this. So you're going from this A chord. Okay, so it's just got this wee tag at the end to round off the song. So starts with open A, 1st fret in the B, open B, 2nd fret in the G, and then we're going to play the open A twice, 3rd fret in the A, down to the open G, and then we're going to play 3rd fret in the D, 2nd fret in the D, up to the 5th fret in the D, back to the 3rd fret, and then we're going to play that again, but this time with the open E. Then we're going to move to the 2nd fret, and we're going to play that again with the open E. And then we're going to play open E, open D in the 1st fret in the G. And then just pick down an A minor chord to finish it off. Open A minor, so start with an open A, D string, G string, B string. Take that 1st finger off, then play an open B, back up to the 2nd fret in the G, and then all you're going to do is play this high A string where you're barring the 5th fret along with the open A to finish off the song. And that's it, that's the Godfather theme. Break it down into those 3 sections, maybe practicing 2 bars at a time. Once you can do that, just start putting it together, and then that's the Godfather theme. And I'll see you next week for the next lesson.